Hello, I'm Rex Lita with the news update. An urgent meeting has been called to look into the events of yesterday and to put in measures to stop further rioting and allow normalcy to return to the national capital city. The National Security Advisory Council is meeting now and will be followed by a cabinet meeting at 2 p.m. Prime Minister James Marape announced this in a media conference in Port Moresby today. The outcome of this meeting will be made known in another media conference in the afternoon and will be live streamed on the Loop PNG Facebook page. The Prime Minister says they are already at work to establish what went wrong within the government departments that led to the uprising and indicated that some heads are going to roll from the finance, treasury, police and the personal management departments.
I just want to appeal to all citizens across our country. We were under stress and duress yesterday in Port Moresby. The pay-related issues of the members of the PNG Royal Constabulary, as well as all public servants included, were brought to the attention of government. And police were not at work yesterday in the city, and people resorted to lawlessness up and about. Not all people, but in certain segments of our city. I have a situation report that indicate to me that while situation have subsided in the last 12 hours, but it is still tense out there, and there have been opportunities, arsonists and destruction of some shops in certain parts of our city, especially Rainbow, Gerahu, Waigani, Port Moresby, South area, Koki, Badili. Those arson has taken place yesterday. Situation has subsided today, but our police and defense that was called out yesterday are working together to bring Port Moresby back under control. There's some indication of people trying to come out, but I want to speak to Lei and speak to Kokopo and speak to the country. This is your country as much as it's my country. The care and what's of our country remains in our hands. Breaking law does not achieve certain outcomes that you want to achieve, whether your immediate need outcomes or our collective shared outcomes. I want to encourage everyone. Today, the National Security Advisory Committee will be meeting here in the next hour. And later today at 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, the National Security Council will meet, and Cabinet will convene at 2 o'clock today to look into what has taken place yesterday, what gave rise to the police issue. I know we say there's a computer glitch, and a system in the payroll system didn't upload what was to be benefit passed on to our taxpayers. This government, our government under my administration, considered the toil and plight of our people in tough times. And we have introduced measures to help our people in tough times, especially now with uplifting of non-tax-paying threshold to 20,000. That means the small wage earners do not pay no more personal income tax. This has never been done before. The last threshold was 12,500. My government during COVID-19 lifted to 17,500, but we now have decided to entrench non-tax-paying threshold at 20,000 kina and annum. Never done before. Don't take these sort of interventions for granted. We've made deliberate intervention to help the toilers, those who are earning lower wages in our country. That means at 20,000, your tax base now starts to be calculated. So those earning even above 20,000 takes a little bit more home. You could have seen in your pay slips. I know there's a running issue on the the dependency rebate. That's something we're looking at. Advice I received last night was that it has not been implemented as yet. The cause of the issue was the computer did not configure to 20,000 as the non-tax-paying threshold, and it fell back down to the 12,500 non-tax-paying threshold. That is why you saw a little bit of additional charge on you and a lesser take home in the first pay. I have given my total assurance that in the second pay, what was deducted will be restored, and what is the right tax calculation will be the tax deductions going forward. And so that assurance was given yesterday, but in between that assurance and the police going back to work, the different parts of our city have been taken to assault, and a riot did take place. From indication we're also getting, it seems as if there's a mob who run from different parts of the city to different parts of the city. It has emerged strongly that there's an indication of an organized riot that took place after police went back to work. We are looking also deeper into this. We're tracing contacts. We are ascertaining, we're not discounting the fact that there is deep political influence in the side to ensure this sort of thing does take place in our city and in our country. So those work that we are doing right now, I want to indicate to our country today. Help your country get back to normal. Violence begets violence. Lawlessness causes lawlessness. All citizens of our country must know this is your city, this is your country. Take responsibility. We will look into these matters. Your issues dealing with salaries, again, let me reiterate. And I saw last night an uninformed release by the Nursing Association that tax has been increased to 42%. For goodness gracious, look closely into what is coming out from Treasury. Tax has not been increased to 42% for everyone. 42% charge remains for the higher earning wages people, those who earn above 70,000 kina annum going forward. Most Papuans do not earn above 70,000 kina going forward. You earn much lesser, and your tax burden has been lifted by my government, my administration, and this is in consideration to the tough times we have living in. Remember, the last 4 years are not ordinary times. The last 4 years, COVID-19, then we move straight into the Russia-Ukraine war, and the continuous stress globally that is taking place has a cause-on effect on imported inflation. And we've cushioned inflation. We've tried our best to manage with what we have going forward, and such lawlessness does not help. I encourage all our citizens to step out today and give respect to your country one more time. Encourage your neighborhood that yesterday did happen. We acknowledge, we look into how we could correct, we look at how we will bring responsible people to face a full arm of law. As the National Security Advisory Committee meets, they will recommend to the National Security Council certain actions to take. The National Security Council will be convening. We will also look into their recommendations. We will also put in our thoughts, and then a recommendation will be presented to Cabinet. And later today, Cabinet would conclude. I would announce to the country again certain measures we will take. We certainly look at state of emergency arrangements, possibly in the city and urban areas. Again, I can't preempt the due process in which the National Security Committee and the National Security Council will deliberate, and the recommendations that will go on to National Executive Council. So I want to conclude. We are convening these important meetings. Situation report as of this morning shows that tension in the city has subsided. I want to offer some commiserations and apologies to the business houses that faced loss yesterday. It was not in your doing, but in the hands of civil disorder. Your government will look into some relief measures as to how we could assist in rebounding those businesses. Most are tagged for essential businesses in our community, the retail shops, the warehouses, those especially that have been part of our economy, our city economy and our country economy for a long, long time. And we will look into considering how best we could give relief, especially in terms of tax reliefs and tax measures going forward. Today, as I go upstairs for the meetings, I want to give assurance to the country. Some changes will take place, some heads will roll. We will look into what is happening at Finance. We'll look at what's happening at Department of Personal Management. We'll look at what's happening at Treasury. We will look at what's happening at Police. Those are key areas we will look into, and we will take a holistic approach into trying to restore functionality of those key offices to ensure that we don't face office-related mishaps or issues that causes a flaw to our society and to our people. I want to also offer my condolences to some who may have lost life in yesterday's melee. These are totally unnecessary. And I want to, in conclusion, appeal to members of the PNG Royal Constabulary. We have many grade 12 graduates who don't have work in our society. I am stepping up training in Bomana Police College to ensure we are training police every time. Ill discipline in police force will not be tolerated. Ill discipline in defense will not be tolerated. You can have one moment in the sunlight, but these moments will not last forever. Every one of us report to our country. The country will live on. You and me will come and go. Ill discipline in police, ill discipline in defense, ill discipline in correctional services is not allowed. And we will look into the entire structure. The entire police leadership will be put under the spotlight. The entire defense leadership is put under the spotlight. The entire treasury leadership is put under the spotlight. The entire finance leadership is put under the spotlight. And of course, I do apologize. My leadership is also put under the spotlight. All this will be looked in totality as we try to restore sanity, restore normalcy, restore order back into our city and into our country. I want to speak to the country. You do your part. Restore order in your part of our country. When you do your part, the rest of us will do our part. Collectively, we should bring back our country to normalcy. We have many stakeholders in our country. Our development partners are watching. Our international partners are watching. Our investors are watching. And all of us are watching. Our country is bigger than all of us. I just want to appeal for normalcy today, wherever you are. Members of the police force, take your duty. Member of the defense force, take your duty seriously. Member of the public service, let's take our duty seriously and let's get back restoring normalcy in our city and in our urban areas and in our country. That's what the greater majority of our people deserves of us and demands of us.
Severe damage of Stop and Shop and city pharmacy outlets in Port Moresby has prompted the temporary closure of all its retail brands, including Stop and Shop nationwide. CPL PNG CEO Navin Raju expressed distress over the significant losses incurred during the unfortunate events. Despite challenges, Ravu thanked Buai sellers in Boroko for their selfless assistance in safeguarding the Boroko Stop and Shop supermarket, showcasing a strong sense of community. The closure will persist until further notice as CPL assesses the situation and aims for recovery. In sports, the SPPNG Hunters scheduled training session for today has been put on hold due to the current volatile situation emanating from yesterday's unprecedented looting and stealing by opportunists in the National Capital District. While the Santos National Football League facility is closed, the welfare and safety of the players is paramount. Thus, the Hunters' formal training session for this morning was cancelled. Meanwhile, the much anticipated announcement of the finalized squad list for the 2024 QRL Host Plus season is yet to be officially released, pending final advice from the Hunters CEO and the board. The final top 30 players returned to the camp this week ahead of the official announcement, including returning Hunters Epel Capinius and Judah Rimbu, currently in training with the NRL Dolphins in Brisbane. That wraps up the Midday News Update. Join us for more at 6 p.m.